If we know we live in a place where it's hard to find healthy and affordable food, what do you think we can do? Grow crops. Perfect answer. So making our own food and using our own hands to know where our food's coming from, that's what we're going to learn today. Sound good?
How does food connect to social justice? Welcome to part 2 of agriculture as a form of resistance with my 4th graders. So in part 1, we taught the scholars about how their favorite foods, which happen to be mostly their cultural foods, are not only very important for their health, but are also huge symbols of resistance within their communities. If you remember, in communities of color, healthy food was and still is very difficult to come by. In this lesson, we dove deeper into the historical context of why that is. So, to begin, for this lesson, we learned new vocabulary that would allow the students to understand the rest of the lesson, watched a video about food resistance in the Black community, and the scholars were introduced to the next part of the lesson in which they were able to grow their own plant. As for vocabulary, words, and concepts, we learned the words resistance, food apartheid, agriculture, the Black Panthers, and soul food. If you do this lesson, feel free to use words and concepts that you find relevant and age appropriate for your students. These are just words and concepts that I found would actually get my point across the way that I wanted to. After vocab, it was time for our video. I took age appropriate and relevant clips from the Netflix special called High on the Hog: How African American Cuisine Transformed America. What I love about this doc is that it highlights African American food resistance from all around the country. So I took clips that highlighted our city to make sure that the lesson was relevant to my students and their community. I also took clips that highlighted the Black Panthers and their free breakfast for children program, the history of the creation of soul food, in which enslaved Africans were given meat scraps with poor nutritional value, mixed it with African traditions and other resources they had, and eventually developed the cuisine that we know today. And food apartheid, a phenomenon that runs rampant, especially in our city and other communities of color. If you choose this resource for your lesson, make sure you check out the entire documentary. It has so much beautiful info. But no matter the community of children that you teach, this lesson really got across to my kids that food has been used as a way to resist injustice by taking that responsibility of our survival into our own hands in ways that were accessible to us. After understanding this, the kids got super excited because it was finally time for them to grow their own plant and understand how easy it is to bring healthy food right into their homes. Stay tuned for the last part of this series to see us get our hands dirty and to see how you can grow your own plants in your classroom or at home. And never forget, if you love social justice and education, hit follow on Little Justice Leaders.